home for Christmas. Students join the rush, but will they face delays? A musical Christmas countdown comes to Winchester. And dashing through the snow, a fun run with a festive twist.
We've got 700 Santas here, in a festive mood, getting into the spirit of it and running 3K around Winchester.
Good evening, I'm Hannah Quinn and welcome to Winchester News Online. With Christmas fast approaching, students are starting to plan their journeys home for the holidays. But with delays, strikes and traffic to consider, it's not an easy task. Here at Winol, we've been looking at the typical ways students will be travelling this festive season and how to avoid the chaos. We have 3 reports. First, the railways. Network Rail is advising passengers to plan their journeys as early as possible because as well as the Christmas rush, services will also be affected by upgrade work. Garen Wilcock reports from Winchester Station.
This is where many students from Winchester will be heading over the next few days on their way home for Christmas. But they'll need to plan ahead because rail services will begin to wind down on Christmas Eve, with Waterloo Station closed by 8 p.m. It's going to be busy, and there will be increased pressure at Waterloo because a number of platforms will be out of use during the day. This is because of maintenance works. Long distance routes will have reduced service in and out of London Waterloo over the festive period. Many services will start from or terminate at stations away from Waterloo, and some stopping services will be cancelled. Services will return on the 27th of December, and an amended service will be in operation until the 3rd of January. South West Trains will also be operating a number of extra late night services over New Year's Eve. Over Christmas and the New Year, Network Rail will be carrying out 200 maintenance projects across Britain. That means there could be problems and delays for passengers, so the key thing is to remember to plan ahead. I'm Garen Wilcock, Winchester News Online.
Coaches are another option for travelling home this Christmas. Danny Condell reports from Winchester's coach stop.
To avoid the possible train delays and cancellations, coaches provide an alternative way to travel home. The more affordable fare makes up for the longer journey time, and to cope with the expected numbers, National Express is increasing the number of services. They will also be running on Christmas Day with more than double the number of coaches on Christmas Day last year. With National Express adding even more coaches than ever before over the Christmas and New Year period, coaches could be a cheap and easy way to travel home this Christmas. Danny Condell, Winchester News Online.
As it's getting closer to Christmas, the traffic is building up. What can we do to avoid hours of queuing? Julie Lee reports.
City centres all over the country are getting cramped during rush hours. Winchester is among them, but it is only going to get worse as we get closer to Christmas. Not just in the city centre, but in the motorways as well. Last year, at its peak, more than 40 million hit the roads on one day. Among the travelers is going to be hundreds of students, but how can we avoid getting stuck in traffic? The highway agency says that we should allow extra time, especially when it's bad weather, and make sure that you and your vehicle are well prepared. And also check the traffic before we go. This is Julie Lee, Winchester News Online, Winchester.
Before we head home for Christmas though, there have been traffic problems in Winchester as the fog rolled in this morning. This wasn't quite the white Christmas most were hoping for. Winchester and the surrounding areas have been blanketed in fog today, causing travel problems on the road and in the air. Flights from Southampton Airport have been delayed due to the weather. Drivers are encouraged to check their lights before heading off. And the Met Office have issued an ongoing fog warning for the rest of the day. It's known as bed blocking. Data from NHS England shows that the number of patients stuck in hospitals, even though they could be receiving care at home, nearly doubled over the summer. Winchester City Council believe they have a solution to ease these problems, but it's costing nearly £1 million more than it should. Our reporter Joe Sargent has the story.
This is Chesil Street's latest development. A £15 million multi-storey care home is under construction opposite Grade 2 listed homes that have stood for centuries. It's been the subject of controversy and the talk of the streets, and just recently the council have estimated that the project will cost them an extra £820,000.
With all building projects, there's always unforeseen things that happen. And with regards to this site, the significant issue that we came across was a fibre optic cable going across the site, which we had no knowledge of. So we get charged the week's time delay, so the hire of the cranes and the hire of the facilities there. It is still within 5% of the contract price overall. So whilst the figures seem significant, as I say, they're in acceptable tolerances.
Neighbours living opposite feel the site would have been better suited in a different location, and that they believe the council did not listen to their concerns through the planning process.
No, we were very disappointed as residents that our voice was not heard, and our concerns, which were very genuine for ourselves and for the residents of the care home, this is a busy road with heavy vehicles coming down the National Express coach. It goes very close to the road, the pavements are narrow, and coming down to the bridge to get over into the city, especially at this time of the year when we have the Christmas market on, and traffic is gridlocked outside our home here.
The care home sits on what used to be a car park, these days a precious commodity. Residents in the neighbouring houses have been given temporary permit holders' rights to the multi-storey 100 yards away. This time of year, Winchester's car parks are pushed to the limit, with parking advisors mostly directing people back the way they came to the park and ride bus services. Winchester is an ancient city steeped in history, and the argument from the council is that it needs to move forward with the times. The population of Winchester is ageing, and the number of 85-year-olds and above has increased by 100% according to census data. The need for a care home is evident, but was this really the right place to build it? I'm Joe Sargent for Winchester News Online.
We've always wanted to know exactly what's in what we buy, but how about the money we use to buy things? Ewan Lyle reports.
The new fiver has upset people over its size, durability and material, but now people are wondering whether this note is suitable for vegetarians and vegans. May contain traces of animal fat, say the Bank of England. Vegetarians, vegans and religious groups have been outraged by the revelation that the new polymer £5 notes are made using beef tallow. An online petition urging removal of the substance has reached over 100,000 signatures. Some shops and restaurants have even said they won't accept them. One employee at a Southampton vegan grocer says this didn't have to happen.
My own opinion is I think the Bank of England have really cocked up on this. They've offended vegetarians, vegans, Sikhs, Hindus, Jains and some Muslims as well. People hand them over saying it was one of those horrible fivers and we go, yeah, we know.
This centre in Petersfield promotes sustainable decision making and teaches children and adults to be wary of the contents of what they consume.
I think this decision affects many people. I'm not sure the person who put together this polymer actually had those in his or her view, and I think that's a shame.
The Bank of England rolled out 440 million £5 notes last September, with further plans for new £10 and £20 notes within the next 4 years. The bank has said its supplier is now working intensively to find a possible solution to the issue. Ewan Lyle, Winchester News Online.
Around 30% of both men and women have high blood pressure in the UK. A new research by the University of Reading has potentially found a way to reduce it. Amber Lovell has more.
High blood pressure, commonly known as hypertension, is a condition that affects 1 in 4 adults in the UK, although many won't realise they have it. Jim Cowdroy is a personal trainer and he explains the side effects of high blood pressure.
So high blood pressure puts pressure on the blood vessels and it can cause clots as well. So you've got clots going up to your brain because there's a risk of stroke, and also you don't want clots feeding through and blockages going into the arteries in your heart as well.
High blood pressure is a condition that affects 1 in 4 adults in the UK today, although many don't realise they have it. Researchers from the University of Reading have found that proteins found in dairy, such as whey protein, can reduce high blood pressure and help reduce the risk of having a stroke by up to 8%. Matt Dobson, store manager of Wellness, Health and Performance at the Little Down Centre, explains what whey protein is.
Whey protein is basically an extract from dairy. It goes through different filtering processes depending on what the whey is. You've got several types, you've got hydroslated, you've got isolate, you've got whey protein concentrate. So depending on the form of protein would depend on what process it goes through for the filtering and extraction, but it basically is the protein source extracted from dairy.
At present, there are 18 million people in the UK living with high blood pressure, and there have been little to no studies into the positive effect dairy protein can have on blood pressure until now. The lead researcher from the University of Reading has said this is very exciting. Amber Lovell, Winchester News Online, Bournemouth.
1 in 25 people expected to get blood cancer at some point in their lives. One of the University of Winchester's newest societies is looking to tackle the issue. Ashley Harrison has more.
The search for lifesavers is well underway here at the University of Winchester, but rather than a cape or superhuman strength, all that's required is saliva. Stem cell donor charity Anthony Nolan have teamed up with the university's own Marrow Society to get students signing the register.
In order to find the best possible matches for blood cancer patients needing a transplant, we need as many people on that register as possible, and we also need to diversify that register, so we especially need more people from black and ethnic minority backgrounds to join.
Signing up to the register is quick and painless. Just fill out a form, spit in a tube, and you're done. So easy, even I managed it. Now, all there is to do is wait for a match.
My personal reason for setting up Winchester Marrow is my best friend. His sister was diagnosed with leukemia, and she received a blood transplant, but unfortunately it was too late. And I just feel like if we can get the word of Anthony Nolan and Marrow out to as many people as possible, then that could save someone's life.
Today's donor drive could match patients and lifesavers, but with one person finding out every 20 minutes in the UK that they have blood cancer, the job is a long way from done. Ashley Harrison, Winchester News Online.
We're into December now, and that means Winchester is in full Christmas mode. Our reporter Jess Staley has been finding out about a special performance series that has been inspired by a popular Christmas carol.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love said to me, a partridge in a pear tree.
Trust them.
We all know that famous carol, The 12 Days of Christmas, a song listing a series of increasingly grand gifts given in the 12 days after Christmas, starting with a single partridge and ending with 12 drummers drumming. While the performers at Hat Hair are showcasing each of these absurd gifts in some ridiculous and unexpected ways.
We've invited a range of theatre companies and artists to respond to one of the days of Christmas. It's a whole mix of theatre and some dance and some pretty weird and wonderful quirky stuff too.
So with 10 more events to go and what has promised to be a gloriously chaotic finale, this series of events has something for everyone in this festive adventure through Winchester. Jessica Staley, Winchester News Online.
Now, you might not have noticed, but it was snowing in Winchester this weekend. Actually, it wasn't real snow, it was fake, but there was tons of it. It was there for hundreds of Santas who were taking part in a fun run, all in aid of a local charity. Our entertainment correspondent Rebecca Dixon was there.
Good morning, Santas!
Hundreds of feet pounded the pavements today, dressed up as Santa, to raise money for local charity Naomi's House and Jack's Place. The charity deals with children and families with life-threatening disabilities and illnesses, offers end-of-life care and bereavement support for families. This event has been going on for the past 6 years, growing larger each time. Starting off with 150 Santas running, to 700 people turning out in full force today, raising money for the Hampshire-based organisation.
It's for a good cause and also I like running.
It's for a very good cause. I've been to the Naomi House and the facilities that I have there, it's just amazing.
To help set up the events and also marshalling the events for safety and making sure people don't run into the river or anything.
Because my brother is part of Naomi House.
Yeah, so we provide respite, emergency, end-of-life and bereavement care. So the money we'll raise now will help us to provide that care to children and young adults right the way through the Christmas period. This event could raise in excess of £60,000. So there's loads of organisations across the country that also do Santa Fun Runs. Loads of hospices do them, which is great. So there's actually quite a supply of Santa Fun Run suits out there. So yeah, they're easy to get hold of.
Well, Naomi House, of course, is a fantastic facility for all the community really, and we take it to our hearts in Winchester, and so it's wonderful to see the Santa Fun Run here with a sellout. So over 700 Santas running through the streets of Winchester. Fantastic, wonderful, fun event for families, and exactly the sort of thing that we want to see here in the city. And I'm so pleased that it's supporting such a good cause in Naomi House and Jack's Place.
Because I want to have a really big lunch today, so I want to be really hungry for it.
I'm here with the Winchester Spirits to support Naomi House in the Santa Fun Run. It's a really worthy cause, so we're here just to raise spirit and have a good time.
Today, Winchester has fully entered the Christmas spirit, dressing up and giving to others. This is the second Santa Fun Run this year, and it's been a huge success. I'm Rebecca Dixon. This is Winchester News Online, Winchester.
Hope they didn't get too cold in all that fake snow. Well, that's it from us. Thanks for watching.